Today we're here for Top Gun Maverick. But not like my normal reviews where I'm having a little stroll in the park, gathering my thoughts, contemplating of what I've just seen. Today we're in my car, as you can see, because it's a bit windy and blustery outside. I don't know, you can't tell. Looks like the trees aren't even moving right now, but it is quite windy, so you just have to take my word for it. Anyway, let's crack on with the review. Top Gun Maverick. We saw the trailer ages ago, pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. Been waiting ever since, looking forward to it. It brought such a sense of nostalgia when we saw that trailer. The soundtrack, the theme tune, Tom Cruise himself, the fighter jets, it just all brought it back for me. Even sitting here, I keep thinking about it. What a tune. Brings back memories from my childhood. I'm sure it does the same for you as well. The setbacks due to COVID, it's had us waiting for so long, and finally it's hit the big screen. And I was there yesterday to watch it. Tom Cruise brings back that charm that he had in the first film. Obviously he's much older now, but that charm is still there, that wit is still there. And boy does he perform. He performs very well, as we know he can. And he brings such an authenticity to his character. He lives and breathes these roles that he plays. And just like every other film, you know, just as Ethan Hawke, is it Ethan Hawke? Ethan Hunt from the Mission Impossible films. And same with this. Pete, the Maverick Mitchell, is back again and he's doing his thing. What? Serious? The whole car park's empty. It's a morning. The next man just parked right next to me, and he's parked so close that he won't be able to open his door. I just don't understand people. So we got Jennifer Connelly in it also, starring as Penny Benjamin, a character that we haven't seen before, but I think it was mentioned at some point in Top Gun in the first film. And it's, you know, the character's all right. You know, she plays the love interest, and you know, it's nothing too bad. A bit generic if you ask me, but they work well. They work well together. We've got the new fighter pilots. There's quite a few of them, and the biggest part is given to Miles Teller. You know, he plays Goose's son. I'm sure you can tell from the trailer with the little tash, same as his father. And they got a bit of a dynamic going on with Maverick. He does well for the part he's given. He's given a bit of a meaty role to bite into, and he works with it. He works well with it, and you know, he does all right. The other fighter pilots, they're a bit more generic. You know, a couple of them are given a little bit of a bigger role than the rest. You know, nothing too big. Val Kilmer, yes, he's in the film. A short appearance, but he is in there, and the scene he has with Tom Cruise, emotional. It has an emotional impact. We know what Val Kilmer's been through in his life. You know, he doesn't really act that much anymore due to his illness, and the film touches on that illness, but obviously portrays that onto Iceman himself, and we do see that, and it is emotional. So I just had to get that out of the way. It makes a good impact in the film, and it was a nice touch. It was. The film absolutely plays on nostalgia. It's bringing back those memories from your childhood when you watch the original Top Gun film. It draws you in, it pulls you in, it tries to tug on your heartstrings. Such a super nostalgic film. You know, it talks about the characters, it talks about certain planes, you know, everything it does, everything it shows you is basically on point to how the first film was. I mean, the film even kind of plays out just like the first film, and in my opinion, I don't think it should have. For me, it should have set itself apart. It should have set its own story. I mean, it does have its own story, but because it's so heavily relying on the first film and almost scene for scene trying to do what the first film did, and you've seen that done much better. The first film had that exciting beach ball scene, you know, where everybody's shirtless and topless, and this film tries to do that again. You know, I'm thinking why. It tries to justify it, but no, it didn't work. It didn't work for me. A sequel needs to stand on its own 2 feet, and you know, when it tries to play so much on nostalgia, you know, sometimes it can work. You know, I thought maybe Spider-Man No Way Home did it fairly well. Matrix Resurrections did not do it very well at all, and this is somewhere in between. It does it well because it brings back those nostalgic memories from your childhood, but it's the same for me. Now, it gets you pumped, it gets you going, but when you think about it, you're waiting for those scenes to finish and move on to something else. I wouldn't say it was boring, those scenes, no, of course not, but I really wanted the film to do its own thing, and it didn't. For me, it didn't. So the plot ended up being quite simple, not much to it. You know, it's just like a build up to the final act. The characters, you know, you don't really care for all these characters that they're showing you, that they're bringing to you, these amazing fighter pilots that they're meant to be. It doesn't really, you don't really get hooked to any of them. You know, maybe a couple, the ones that they're trying to throw out to you, but I can't even remember half their nicknames. I think there was Fanboy, there was, oh yeah, Hangman, who was a kind of like Val Kilmer's Iceman, a bit of a mirror image, a mirror personality. But for me, Val Kilmer did it much better. It was a lot more authentic, that attitude, that arrogance, and you know, I don't think he needed to have that same character or same mirror character in this film as well. It's trying to like copy things that you remembered from the first film and try to modernize them, I guess. The build-up was quite slow, with great scenes scattered around. You know, the motorbike scene on the airfield, we've got a boat scene. You know, it's got some really good cinematography and really good scenes scattered around, but they're scattered around a bit of a slowish film, a slow build-up, which is obviously gearing up towards the final act. And the final act, that, oh my god, is amazing and worth the wait. I only had hoped that the film had built up to that final act in a much better way, but anyway, when we do get to that final act, it is amazing. The flight scenes, the aeroplane fight scenes, you know, the flying through very narrow valleys, you know, the dogfights with other fighter jets, absolutely stunning. And the way they filmed it, you know, you can see it's not CGI. You're absolutely in there with the pilots, and what an experience, what an amazing experience, those dogfights and those fast, rapid flight scenes where the plane's going up, down, side to side, you know, spinning round upside down and everything. And I can't express how great those scenes are. You know, practical effects, we know those cameras are in those fighter jets along with those actors, and it makes for a stunning experience. It's exciting, it's thrilling. You know, the cinematography during those flight scenes is absolutely brilliant. I can't say one bad thing about that final act, nothing whatsoever. Show-stopping experience and absolutely worth the ticket price alone. Another one. What's going on? You can see how much of a buzz that final act gave me. Absolutely terrific. Are you serious? What the hell? In conclusion, what do we have? A film that we've been waiting for years, a film that we want it to be amazing, and I think a lot of people will find it amazing, they'll find it absolutely brilliant, but personally, it's thought the story was shallow, the characters were shallow, the build-up was a bit slow, you know, mixed in with great scenes here and there, and built up to an amazing final act. And for me, it's that final act that actually saves the film. It did save the film for me, because other than that final act, I wasn't that impressed. I wasn't that impressed at all. And because of that, I was actually ready to give the film probably 6 out of 10. But the music, the cinematography, and that final act, wow, 9 out of 10 those are. So those saved the film for me, and it does elevate it to a, I'm not going to give it an 8 out of 10, no. I'd be relying too much on emotion giving it an 8 out of 10. 7.5, that's my final verdict. A film that was saved by its final act. Worth watching? Definitely. Will it be a part of your collection? Yes, it will be. Is it better than the first? No, not at all. The first is a classic. Classic characters, classic scenes, classic quotes, and this just tries to replicate it. A 7.5 out of 10. Catch you guys later on the next one.
Jeez! Having any fun yet?